big plans are sprouting at the Jacksonville Arboretum and Botanical Gardens, a big event that is going to unveil some plans coming in the works for a children's garden. Here to tell us about it, Dana Doody, Executive Director, and Lindsay Starner, President of the Jacksonville Arboretum and Botanical Gardens. Welcome both.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Yeah, thank you for being here. So let's start, if we can, with the history of this arboretum. Lindsay, this is something we were just talking about. I kind of remember when it was at its earliest days, but how has it grown? How did this arboretum come about in the first place?
Sure. So back around the 2003, 2004 area, there was a group, neighborhood group that wanted to create an arboretum somewhere in Jacksonville and came to the city. At the time, the area was owned by JEA and the city. And so there was a collaboration between those two groups to designate the now about 130 acres of land to become an arboretum. So it is leased currently by from the Jacksonville Arboretum through the city of Jacksonville. So we do have a good partnership with them. However, it is a little different than just a normal park and does not get the same money and whatnot as other parks do. So we have continued what the original Arboretum board started back in 2008, and we're growing. We're growing faster than we ever have before. Our memberships and our visitors have just more than doubled and tripled over the past couple of years. So we're here to talk about how we're growing with the community.
And so you do depend on fundraising. I know that you've got kind of a gala event coming up to do some additional fundraising. But Dana, there's a speaker at that event that has a hand in the ongoing development of the Arboretum. Tell us who he is and what he's going to be talking about.
His name is Trey Fromy. He is a designer that the board went on a process to select. So we went through American Public Gardens and we're very diligent about finding the right firm to work with on creating our master plan for the Arboretum. And Trey Fromy is he has his own company, Three Fromy Designs, but he has designed gardens all over the country. Like he was the master garden plan for, he was involved in the master garden plan for Atlanta Botanical Gardens. He just finished the Grand Garden for Morton Arboretum, which is truly beautiful. So we knew we were in really good company with Trey and really good hands. And he has started our master plan, and the board selected as one of the first projects within the master plan to be the children's garden. And so we will be talking about that we have our event on Thursday evening here at WJCT, and it's called Seeding Jacksonville. So, and Trey is our presenter.
And so, among the things that will be discussed at that event, you're going to show some renderings of the children's garden. Is that right?
Yes, we're going to show some really gorgeous art that Trey has created to be able to translate the concepts that we've worked with the board in selecting different concepts that will be within the children's garden. And so he's going to highlight a few of the sculpture art and some of the elements that the board has selected to be in the children's garden.
And Lindsay, what are the kind of ideas, the goals of the children's garden? Like, what are the elements that were considered most foundational and essential?
Sure. So the goals fit really well with our mission and vision at the Arboretum. It's to spark wonder, to also keep the resiliency around the fact that there are natural trees there, but we also have gardens, and so we want to bring the children in. And we brought Trey in, as Dana just explained. He is a beautiful designer that meets that nature with the imagination of children and the imagination of if even adults. We want adults and seniors to go out there and play. So some of the elements that you'll hear a little bit more about on Thursday, so please come out, are we're going to have some tree houses, we're going to have streams, we're going to have things that bring out your auditory skills and not only your visual. So it's going to be pretty exciting.
And ultimately, this arboretum someday hopes to have a auditorium of some kind, right? A kind of amphitheater
Yes,
setting.
he does have an amphitheater. So the land at one point was a mine. So what's really interesting about the history of it is that it has all these areas that just told us what it should be. And when we walked the arboretum, he saw this big bowl that is currently one of our fire pits just behind our pollinator garden. He said that will make for a beautiful amphitheater one day. And so that's one of the elements in the master plan. And he will be talking about some of the other things like an event center, a visitor center, and some of the other gardens as well.
All right. Well, the event, it's called Seeding Jacksonville. It is this Thursday at WJCT Studios, and I think people can get information and tickets at jacksonvillearboretum.org.
That's
That's
correct.
correct.
All right. Thank you so much for being here, both of you. Lindsay, Dana, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. And thank you for listening.